What's going on, guys? It's Jet. Real quick, I want to thank you guys for all the love and support on my recent videos and stuff. Honestly, been having a good time. We're leading up to the release of The Quarry and stuff like that as well. One thing I also realized, it's gonna be really stupid, and the thing is, I already know it's a waste of time, so I don't even know why I'm saying it, but I still actually haven't done the Vanguard campaign. I was trying to think of like all the things that I didn't do that are Call of Duty related, and well, I haven't done that yet. Guy's got 150 kills because he's spamming every kill streak he gets. Oh yeah, I mean, that's the case for the majority of Modern Warfare 2. That's literally like the game's identity. Please stop killing me. I'm switching team. Okay, it's not gonna let me switch to... Alright, I'm leaving then. It won't let me switch teams. I don't want to be on the team that is literally down like 5 players. What the fuck? And now we're just stuck on a black screen. Yo? We're getting close to 5 million subscribers, so if you're new here, subscribe. I upload basically every single day. Man, if I feel like my hit registration is all messed up on 10 ping servers, I can't imagine playing on like over 100. Yeah, so I ended up getting contacted yesterday by Activision, actually. Now, obviously, I can't go into too much detail about what we talked about and stuff like that, but I was just surprised that they even reached out to me at all in any way, shape, or form, because it always feels like, I don't know, I mean, like, I talk shit about the games, don't get me wrong, but I don't have like a personal vendetta against particular people or anything like that, but I was under the impression that there's somebody somewhere that probably doesn't like me over there, but when I was told everything is all good in that aspect, I guess, it's just offhand jokes and shit, so I don't know. Trust sniping, do I want to do it? Sure. I actually finally got my refresh rate to work properly on here. Some people were trying to tell me that it's like a multitude of different things, settings and tick rate on the servers and things like that, but I remember playing shit like this for hours upon hours upon hours back when Modern Warfare 2 was the main game. Shit, even past Modern Warfare 2's first year and even when other CODs were out, I was still doing this shit. Really? I figured out some settings though. Turns out full screen helps a lot more as well. I always play borderless, but I always play borderless full screen. I don't care how many people tell me about, you know, reaction time, and seems like, well, whenever I was using not full screen on this shit, it just was not doing it for me, so. Which is weird too, because no matter what, my screen is always, and I mean, it's always set to 240 or whatever the max refresh rate is on whatever screen. Because this one over here on this side isn't 240. I don't play anything on it, just have apps and shit on it. They all come back with so much vengeance in their hearts. He wasn't even aiming at me. Literally on his screen, his gun is sticking out past that point. Oh, also, yesterday I started playing some Demon Souls. I am getting my ass whooped. No bullshit, I'm actually getting my ass whooped. Come on, man. My aim assist feels like, the slowdown feels different from the other games that I'm playing usually. So ridiculous and out of control. Lag? Oh, whoops. I was gonna trick shot last since I was so far ahead, but not bad, not bad. Now, I know it's annoying to hear, like, you know, oh, I met with Activision. By meet with Activision, I mean talked with somebody there. I was always hearing this stuff over the years where, like, you would hear about, like, some streamer or YouTuber or somebody being able to have a conversation with them and hear about, like, I think I just realized who Vegeton is. Hard scoped it. What the fuck? I knew somebody would spawn behind me anyway. I don't know why I'm thinking like, oh, the game's gonna go against it when I built my entire ideology off of this game. Oh. Really? Now that I actually have like a pretty good refresh rate and doesn't feel like my camera's hitching all over the place and like my gameplay would randomly be nice and responsive and smooth for a moment and then out of nowhere just be disgusting. 1 minute it'll feel like I'm on one monitor and then the next I'm on another. It's very weird. Oh my god, I'm so slow nowadays. Holy fuck. I need to just literally kill one player and start spinning around because this is ridiculous. Whoa! Oh, come on. It feels good to even be able to have that kind of consistency at all. Oh, I got collided. I keep forgetting I'm not, I was on last. I wasn't nearly as far ahead this time though, shit. Always heard this stuff about like these secret backroom meetings and shit like that where people are like talking about it, the design and stuff, and sure, maybe my whole situation wasn't as cool as other people's, but to even be able to clear the air and be like, yeah, there's no problem, like, what the fuck? To even be reached out to, you know what I mean? Since I've been making content on the games for so long and shit, like, they say that on Demon Souls, like, it's not that hard of a game at all. Like, Demon Souls is one of the easier games in the series. I don't know, I hear a weird mixed amount of things. Some people say that it's really hard and other people say that it's really easy, so, I mean, in my opinion, when I thought about it, I was like, well, it's earlier in the series, so surely the game can't be harder than other games. Like, sure, maybe games were a little bit harder back in the day, but mechanically speaking, like, there's gotta be only so much that they could do back then. They wouldn't make, like, insanely complicated, complex attack patterns and bosses and designs and shit like that. It would be generally pretty lazy, I'd assume. But even just the general combat, I mean, I am getting my ass whooped. Like, I don't even want to fight regular mobs anymore. Like, I'm about to start skipping them. Overall, like, I haven't run into something that is mechanically just so insane that, like, I'm, like, saying that it's harder than Millennia or some shit. Clearly, I've overcome harder things on Elden Ring, but on Demon Souls, I am getting my ass beat by just regular ass mobs. On Demon Souls, I am just getting my ass beat by regular mobs. I am horrified every single time I see them. Any of them. The combat is just a little bit different. It feels a little bit heavier. It kind of feels like how it feels between, like, Call of Duty feels more arcadey and snappy like this. Then you go and get on to, say, something that's really similar but different, like Battlefield. It's the same thing generally on paper, but feel-wise, Battlefield feels a bit heavier. It feels weightier. It feels a little bit more sluggish, which is, you know, that's its own style. It's not a bad thing, that's its own style. Well, that's kind of how it is between Elden Ring, or even maybe the other Souls games, to Demon Souls. Demon Souls feels like my character has weight in everything that he does. Anyone else? Mouse and keyboard. Nope, I have no real skill. I'm just playing the controller game the way that it's meant to be played. Number one way to bait engagements, mouse and keyboard versus controller. It's so good. Ever since Exclusive Aces videos, I've just been getting people just fucking... I'm a controller player, so I guess it's pretty different if, like, a mouse and keyboard player were to talk shit about aim assist, but since they know I'm using it, I don't know. It's like different for people or some shit. I think a lot of people just sit around and think about like how they would argue with people. Like everybody is like secretly some sort of debate lord where like they feel like anything that's kind of like sports Twitter, or like the only thing that people do is just say outlandish shit in order to get replies. It's always about just being overwhelmingly confident, more so than actually being correct in any way, shape, or form. It's just only about the way and what you're saying. You have to say something ridiculous, and then on top of that, base it off of ridiculous things. That's the number one way that people get attention, and the number one way that people argue now, where it's just like, well, this is my side, this is your side. It doesn't matter what kind of actual intellectual thing we have back and forth. It's a game of just gotcha. Here, I got this joke about your thing, and now I got this joke about your thing, and then I got yours as a rebuttal. That's literally, I feel like that's all people do is sit around. At this point, people don't communicate and argue to get to an actual solution. They argue to simply ratio. That's it! You know how many disproportionate ratios have happened with wrong information anyway? This shit is brain dead. It's always like a my side versus your side type of thing anymore. It's so fucking weird. Like insane levels of copium. It can't be, I can't lose. Let me just say something else that's ridiculous. I mean, that's normal though, right? I mean, I'd say a lot of people are they want to protect their own egos and they want to protect, you know, their side. They want to support their side, but they don't really actually understand how to support a side. It's just, it's again, a game of gotcha. Trying to ratio people IRL. It just feels so much better now all of a sudden. It's almost like playing on PC is amazing. You know that whole mouse and keyboard aim assist whole conversation thing? You know what's interesting about that is that there's like a group of people that believe that controller on PC specifically has like its own rotational aim assist in general. They think that it's stronger on PC than it is on console. Like obviously playing on PC is better than console. And that's talking about platform. That's not talking about your input. You could be on PC with controller and you could be on console with K-Bam if you wanted for some weird ass reason. But obviously everybody knows being on PC is a superior way to play the game just because you have more frames, you have all this other shit, right? But it doesn't actually change fundamentally actually how aim assist works at all. It's not any stronger just because you're on PC. You just have better frames and better response time, which makes you a more consistent player in general, yes. But it doesn't actually make your aim assist any stronger. I'd be hearing some crazy shit, man. It doesn't buff your aim assist being on PC. That's just not how it works. Yeah, basically, talked about some stuff with them, gave some feedback on some things, and I'm gonna have to assume I likely won't be listened to, but you know. Oh, I almost dumped all of them. Get the extended mag perfectionist. I was around the corner, like completely around the corner too. See, that's server tick. I get that. All right, good job. Is this the fight to make? Dan Hooker is the leading candidate for a potential fight with Conor McGregor. Dan Hooker gets that fight? Really? Honestly, I'd be happy for Dan just to get paid. Fuck it. And he does have a chance to win. He just needs to not get fucking blasted like he did against Chandler. Because Conor's gonna punch him really fucking hard. People talk shit about Conor all the time and shit now at this point. Really fun to hate on the guy because, you know, he's so successful and all this other shit. He talks all this shit, blah, blah, blah. It's hard to feel bad for somebody that's, you know, that successful, right? Overall, one thing that people will not argue, whether he's washed or not, saying all this shit, talking shit, whatever, one thing you'll never be able to argue about for Conor McGregor is his knockout power. If that dude connects with you with his left fucking hand, it's over, man. It's literally the same thing as getting, like, literally one punched by fucking Michael Chandler or something. In terms of precision, I'd argue that Conor McGregor is even more dangerous than Michael Chandler. That's kind of the fight that I would want to see, though. That's gonna absolutely end in a finish. Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor. I think that would be one of the most banger-ass fights I've ever seen, and there ain't no way that Michael would turn that down. Michael's talking about trying to get back to the title, but obviously, hey, if they're gonna offer him Conor, he would absolutely take that shit. But I assume they kind of want to try to give Conor a easier type of, like, tune-up fight kind of deal. But Dan isn't a free fight, though. Dan might be on, like, a little bit of a skid right now, but stylistically, he can stay safe from Conor. Got good range, his reach isn't bad against him. Conor has an insanely long reach for how tall he is and how long in general he looks. Very long arms. Yeah, I heard that there was some sort of a leaked release date for Modern Warfare 2. It might be mid-October, or more like late October. Obviously, again, these are all just shit I find on my timeline. That's the other thing I need to say to people. Whenever I talk about this information, this is literally information that people can get just by looking at Twitter. I do not ever leak new information or anything like that. I don't leak shit. It is literally public info by the time I speak about any of this shit. Obviously, if you go and post like a leaked picture or some shit like that, even if it is public, obviously that would hit my channel and all this other shit, but I only ever mention things that are out there. That's it. I mean, how do you control that? Especially when you have groups of people asking about it and adding you and all this other shit. Like, that comes out in October. We have to assume we can get the alpha a couple months beforehand. And what would the alpha be? I'm assuming the alpha could be gunfight all over again. I remember how much fun everybody had with gunfight when that was the only thing that we could play, right? It gave us kind of a feel for how the game is gonna feel, but ultimately, like, overall, the actual game of Modern Warfare doesn't play anything like Gunfight, so it's kind of weird for me. I also stopped playing Gunfight very quickly over on Vanguard. And if I'm desperate enough, though, I'll just spam Gunfight. I don't care. If I just want to play the game that badly, yeah, I will. The thing is with Gunfight is that there's none of that customization. There's no, like, separate build or anything like that. Second place. Good job. We would end up getting, like, an alpha on one of the months, maybe July, August, something like that. Then maybe August, September, we would get the beta, and we would actually feel how the real game actually feels for multiplayer anyway. Then the actual release in October, towards the end of October, we would have already gotten a feel for the game and how everybody's feeling about it, but obviously the game changes as soon as it comes out. The real experience begins, but then also... I'm gonna leave this, I don't need to play anymore. I remember how I felt when I was playing Gunfight on both of those games, and it just... yeah, I got very annoyed very quickly. I like respawn shit, so this whole slow thing where you spawn in and it's a 2v2 and you're like looking over the edge and you're just slowly whatever, like the highlights of it is literally you just killing two people. It's just, it's not that entertaining. I get it, I'm in the minority at this point because most people would rather see like this intense thing where everybody knows they only have one life, one chance kind of thing. Holy shit, look how clutch. But to me, it's just not as interesting as people pretend that it is. That's just me. I don't know. Regardless, a full multiplayer experience will make it to us eventually, regardless of whatever date is what. And we just have to hope that that shit is good enough for 2 years. It's probably why they're reaching out to even people like me at this point. I do appreciate it.